Hello, I'm Pastor Chris Baresh from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. As a pastor in Palos Heights community, it's amazing the things that I get to find out about. Great things that people and agencies are doing to help and contribute to our greater Palos community. And that's the point of our program, Community Bridge, to make you aware of these great things so that you might take part or you might know somebody that would benefit from taking part of these things. Today, I'm pleased to have with me Christy Gallegos from Toastmasters of Palos Heights. Christy, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Pastor Chris.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a single mother of 2 adult children. I live in Oak Forest, right here near Palos Heights, and I work at Advocate Healthcare. I work in business development in a leadership role, and I've lived here for about 21 years.
Fantastic. So you know quite a bit in the area.
I do.
And you're here today because you're involved with Toastmasters of Palos Heights. How did you get to be involved with Toastmasters?
That is correct. Well, it's interesting. So when I was back in college, which was a few years ago, I had one of my professors that suggested I look into Toastmasters. And the reason why is in school you have to give speeches and presentations, and I would always get very nervous getting up and speaking in front of crowds. And she suggested I do Toastmasters, and I did not know what Toastmasters was. And at that time I looked into it, and I could only find clubs that were in the city, and I do not like driving into the city, so I passed on it. And then more recently, at my role in my job, I'm tasked now more with giving presentations in front of leadership. And again, that fear happens, you get your heart races, you get nervous speaking in front of crowds. And so one of my mentors suggested that I look into Toastmasters again. So this was my second time hearing about Toastmasters. So this time I looked into it, and I explained to my mentor too, though, that it was only in the city, and I did not want to go to the city. So she said, they have them in the local area. So she sent me a website to look. And I found Palos Heights, I found one in Orland Park, I found one in Park Ridge, not Park Ridge, but Park Forest. And so I called 3 different Toastmasters, and the first one that got back to me was here in Palos Heights. And they said, there's no pressure, just come and check it out, and that's how it happened. And that was about 1.5 years ago, so I've been a member of Toastmasters since the fall of 2022.
Fantastic. So for those who aren't familiar, explain a little bit about Toastmasters, what they do, and what the purpose behind it is.
Sure. So when I first came to Toastmasters, I sat in the parking lot, and I was nervous to go in. I almost chickened out, and the person that told me to come in said, there's no pressure, just come in, you can just observe, there's no obligation. So I got the courage to go in, and it's a very welcoming environment. I sat there and observed for the first maybe 4 or 5 times and did not participate. So when you walk in, there's different leadership roles. So there's a president, there's a vice president of membership, there's a vice president of public relations, and the president starts off the meeting, and we give an invocation and a pledge, and somebody's tasked every role or every meeting to give the invocation and pledge. And then from there, we do what we call table topics. Table topics is when it helps you with impromptu speaking. So you get a little card or a question asked to you. For instance, if you could pick any holiday, what would be your favorite holiday? And then you have to speak on that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. And you get a timer that is held up to help you keep your timing where it needs to be so that you speak at least for 1 minute and no more than 2 minutes. So you get like a little red card that comes up when you've met your time so that it's time to stop speaking and move on to the next person to come up and do their table topics. So we get done with table topics. We try to go around and do everybody in the room. And if you're not, don't have the courage at that time to do table topics, there's no pressure. We don't force you to do it. You can just watch and observe until you're ready. And then from there, there's different members that want to do a speech. So we usually have at least 2 to 3 speeches that a member will give, and they pick their own topic on what they want to do a speech on. And when you get up there and speak, the rest of the members will rate you, like what you did really good in and what we felt you could have did better on. And then it's private, so you get that card at the end of the meeting, and you go home and then you can read your feedback on what you could have done better and what you did really good at. And it's just to help you, and you also get recorded. And then your recordings get sent to you the next day or two, and you can see how many times you said how many times you said so, because you don't realize it until you're on video that you're saying these filler words that we look out for. And we do, trying to think what else, we have a lot of different, the speeches are really good, and then we close out the meeting. That's what we do. We have individuals that will be chosen to evaluate when you give your speech. Somebody gets up to the podium, they give a verbal evaluation on that individual, how they did with their speech, and we always want to start off with the good things too. And then we have an evaluator that tells us how the meeting went. And we have somebody who also, not critiques, but just rates you on your filler words, so your ahs, your ums. So they'll get up and say, you could have did better with your ums, you could have did better with your so's, and so forth like that. So it's a really good environment. It's the whole purpose is for leadership and communication. And it's not to feel let down, it's to help build you up, to get you to be a better speaker.
Fantastic. So one of the things about Toastmasters that I was aware of is it's really the community and the meetings, the times are gathered around public speaking. For you, or a person who's in a position where you're doing a lot of public speaking, how have you found that Toastmasters has assisted you in growing into the position?
It's absolutely helped me, just by even seeing those videos of how I can do my gestures better, my eye contact with individuals, the filler words that I'd mentioned. It's helped me tremendously. And even, like I said earlier, getting the rapid heart rate when you would first start to get up and speak, that has not gone totally away. It's always different comparing to who you're speaking in front of. So more recently, I just had the privilege of giving a commencement speech at my alma mater. And this is my third time doing that. And I will say this time that I did it, it was the least nervous I have been. So it takes practice. You just got to work at it, but it has absolutely helped me. And it's helped, me get my role too that I'm in now, because, you have to give your interviews, you have to speak in front of people. And Toastmasters also has the leadership roles that I've briefly mentioned. So every year we have elections. We're actually coming up. Right now my role is the VP of Public Relations. So I'm responsible for doing these, what I'm doing right now, and then helping with their social media, helping promote so that we can get members in the Toastmasters club that we have. Yeah, so it's absolutely helped.
Wonderful. As a pastor, I'm speaking quite a bit publicly, and I understand the benefit of being able to go through that process of evaluating yourself for what are you doing effectively, what could use some work. So what benefit does Toastmasters have for somebody that's maybe not in a position where regularly they're having to give public presentations or speak publicly? Have you noticed any benefits that others have talked about from being part of Toastmasters in a way where they, have just developed other skills? Yeah,
well, I would say that leadership skills, and organizational skills. So in Toastmasters, they have, they're called learning pathways. So each Toastmaster member can choose a pathway, and they have, I believe it's 12 different pathways on leadership, how to be, humility they call, I think it is. They have different, I can't think of all of them, but they have 12 different ones, and you can choose which pathway you would like, and it helps you to be better in that particular area. And they have different tasks. It takes a while to get through a pathway because you have to fulfill each of the different obligations, which is giving a speech, giving up and going up and doing a speech that has like vocal pitches or different, it challenges you to meet these different areas. And then somebody will check off that you had done that piece, and then you move through. And when you finish so many pathways, you can become a distinguished Toastmaster, which is a credential that you can have forever. It's a DTM, and it takes a while to do that. You have to also go into a leadership role, you have to be a president or a officer role, and then there's some more international obligations as well. So
So this is something that's bigger than just a meeting here at Palos Heights.
Yeah.
What is the structure of Toastmasters in a wider level?
Yeah, so it's an international club or organization. So it's there are over 245,000 members internationally, and then we have over 14,000 clubs. So Palos Heights is just one of those clubs. So it's a wide variety of different individuals that are participating in Toastmasters. And they have conferences. So we just had a conference in April. That was our hybrid conference. So you can either participate, virtually or come in person. And the fortunate thing is it was in Orland Park. So that's very convenient for us here. And then they also have one that's coming up in August, and that one's going to be in Anaheim, California. Last year it was in the Bahamas. I wanted to go to that one, but I couldn't make it. But yeah, they have different events where we can all get together and meet different Toastmasters and come to, all around the world.
That's great. It's quite a neat community and a niche of collaboration as well as evaluation and seeing how other places do it.
Yeah.
So if somebody was curious about Toastmasters, you've mentioned before that there's meetings. When are those meetings held?
Yeah, so our club, every club is different, but our club meets the first and third Monday of each month, and we're at 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And, sometimes there'll be a holiday that will fall on to our particular day, and sometimes we'll move it to the following day, and then sometimes we'll just cancel it for that particular time. And we do meet at the Palos Heights Library, located just right around the corner from here. So very convenient and local for those that live in the area. And we actually have people that also are in two different clubs. We have some that go to the Orland Park, and they meet on the second and fourth Monday, I believe it is. So there's different clubs that you can look into to, depending on the day, what's convenient for you.
Okay. And if somebody wanted, does everybody have to actively participate in the meetings?
No, absolutely not. Like I said, we don't want to pressure you. We know that some people it takes time to build that courage. So come and observe, and when you're ready, then you can, we do have membership fees. That it's a non-for-profit organization. We pay $60 every 6 months to maintain our membership, and that also helps go for our fees for the library. And then when you're ready, to become a member, then you can start participating.
Right. So you talked a little bit about the success that you've had and that the different ways in which Toastmasters has assisted you and helped you grow in your career as well as just in a person. I mean, it's great to go back to your alma mater and give a commencement address.
Yes.
What are some other success stories or impact stories of what Toastmasters has done and meant for people?
I'll give you an example. One of our members, he's a wonderful man. He has won a triathlon, and he was asked to come up and give his speech, and he couldn't do it. He was too afraid. He couldn't go up and give his speech to accept his award, and he started coming to Toastmasters, and he has come so far. He was a member and did not participate for, I believe, like 6 months. He was too afraid to get up to the podium and speak. And he finally got the courage, and now he's doing amazing. One of our officer roles is called a sergeant at arms, and that's the person that goes up, starts the meeting off, and then keeps us flowing, pulls up, when the president needs to come up, they give the orders of who comes up next. Excuse me. And he has done an amazing job. I've seen him grow so much, so we're so proud of him. And the same is true for many. There's another individual who just became a member, and she's a president of her company. And she wants to be able to speak more, leadership style into her members of her organization. So I've seen people grow, and it's a great opportunity.
Great. You mentioned some of the exercises that we go through where people, prepare a speech and subject themselves to an evaluation by their peers to help grow. You mentioned another thing that was more of an improv of grabbing a card and having to speak of it. What are other activities, particularly what are the activities that you look forward to most in the meetings?
I like it all, and what I like is we give the option at the end of every meeting. We'll choose our roles for the next meeting. So before we leave that evening, we'll say who wants to do the pledge and toast next time. And it's nice because you finally will get the courage, I want to try it. And in the beginning, you're not like that. There's also a joke. Somebody gives a joke of the day just to, break the ice for the beginning of the meeting. And then it's so amazing to see people finally, you know what, I'm going to try to give a speech. So your very first speech that you give is an icebreaker, and it's all about you. So you get up there, what do you know better but yourself? So to get up there and just talk about yourself and give your speech to your members and just tell them who you are. So that's usually the first speech that everybody does. I enjoy going, and now I've become close with these individuals now. They're kind of like a family, so I enjoyed the entire meeting.
What would you say to somebody that was having a hesitation because they don't want to, they're worried about walking into a community and subjecting themselves to judgment or to criticism?
It's not that judgment or criticism. It's more of constructive feedback is what I would call it. And I was the same way. I sat in that parking lot and I almost talked myself out of not going. But challenge yourself. Move to that next step. It's only going to help you grow as a person and as a leader and improve your communication skills. So I would just challenge them to go in and just observe. You're not going to be forced to participate.
Beautiful. Well,
thank you.
I know I attended one of the meetings, this was a number of years ago, and it was phenomenal to me, the diversity of the people around the table there, of their different life experiences and the different things that they were coming to. A lot of it had to do with confidence in regards to just being confident not only in public speaking, but in their job, in their career, in their family, and so on and so forth. I don't know if there's any way for you to speak to that, if you've noticed how individuals struggling with have been helped by Toastmasters.
Yeah, and I have another example that I just thought of too. We have another member he's our youngest member. He's early 20s. And if I could go back in time and do this when I was that young, and he's a phenomenal young man, and now he is taken a leadership officer role. He's really grown, and he's so confident now. He gets up there and he runs our meetings as well. And everybody, when they come in there, they're like, how old are you? He always gets teased about his age, but he is doing phenomenal. And just, like I said, if I could do this 20 years ago or 30 years ago, I would be so further in my career if I had that opportunity. So I would encourage to do it now, do it as early as you can, and start.
Great. So if somebody was interested in dipping their toe in the water or finding out more, what would you suggest they do?
Yeah, so we have a website, toastmastersofpalosheights.com. If you click on that or go to that website, you'll see our phone number on there. We also have a Facebook page that you can go to get our information. Or you can just show up at the library. You don't need to call us. You can just show up. We're at the Palos Heights Library every first and third Monday at 6:30 p.m.
Great. It's phenomenal. Now, if somebody were to come or ask questions about what happened at the meeting, what is the response that Toastmasters give? Is it something where what's said in the meeting stays in the meeting, or is this something that branches out or moves beyond the time on Monday evenings?
I would say it stays between us members and then whoever the members want to share it with. But, there's nothing confidential. It's just to help you grow. Your videos aren't shared with anybody else except for yourself. Nobody else in the membership sees them. They get directly sent to you, except for the person who's recording them. Obviously, that person sends them to you. But, it's just maintained within the members that are there. So I would not, have anybody feel pressured that anyone's going to see how they performed.
Yeah, I know that in this day and age, privacy and keeping things close to themselves and having control over it is a big deal. But it sounds like Toastmasters is more of a community wherein those things that are shared really stay within there, and that's quite a comfort for people, I'm sure, as they come in for the first time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll get other members that want to come and see how our club is ran. So sometimes the Orland Park members will come and visit us, and I haven't visited them yet, but I've been asked to, so I may just go visit Orland Park here soon.
Neat. Now, I hear there's also competitions for public speaking, kind of like what you encounter in a public speaking or debate class in high school. Have you ever attended one of those? Are you aware of those? What do they look like?
I have not personally, but that was at our conference that we had in April. There was a debate that, a competition speech that occurred. And I have not gotten the courage to do that myself yet, but that is something that is down the road that I would like to try as well. But yes, we do have those as well.
Wow. So even for those who are experienced speakers, there's something in Toastmasters that is offered to
Right.
help them continue to grow.
Right, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything else about Toastmasters that we did not cover today that you feel is just really important, really helpful for people to know as an opportunity for them to grow?
You know, like I said, I would just encourage you, if you have not already attended, get the courage to go try it out and observe. Leadership roles are available. We're heading into election time here in the next month, so, and the elections, or the officer roles are for 1 year. You know, it gives you the opportunity to be a leader and then also improve your communication skills.
Great. And again, the meetings are on which evenings?
The first Monday and third Monday of every month at 6:30 p.m.
And they're held at the Palos Heights Library?
Palos Heights Library.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Christy, for being here. Thank you for the work that Toastmasters is doing to help kind of inspire others to pursue and to grow in confidence and in their gift of speaking. And this is just another wonderful example of some good things going on in Palos Heights. We hope that this is helpful for you, for people that you care about. And until next time, God bless.